8:30, just remind me because I keep losing track of time. So please remind me for attendance at 8:30. We'll take the attendance every day at 8:30 going forward. Okay, please do that for me. Just stop
Yeah,
me right
sure.
away, whatever I am doing. Just stop me. No problem. Okay, so yesterday, uh, sharing my screen. So, yesterday we were discussing about the Windows event viewer logs, and then a little bit of Linux. In Linux, basically we just wanted to see where the logs are stored. All right. When I take up the Linux class, you will actually, I mean, when I show you the installation on the Linux machine, right? That time we'll get to see more logs. So do not worry about it. I was just showing you where the logs are stored in a Linux machine. So can anyone quickly tell me the location where the logs are stored in Linux?
Uh, Backslash where log and then messages.
Yep, thank you. It is slash var slash log, right? That is where on any of your, that's right, correct. Slash var slash log, yes, absolutely. So any Linux flavor, right? Any Linux kernel machine, this is where you will find the logs. And for your Windows, it is your Windows event viewer, right? Event viewer. This is where you will find your Windows logs. So when I talk about, let me log into this machine. All right, don't worry about this AWS. It is just that it is just that there are a couple of few. I mean, it's a free tire. That's the reason I use this. So don't worry. Don't bother what I'm doing right now. I'm just connecting to that particular instance. All right. I'm just connecting to a Windows machine so that I can show you those event viewer logs. Okay, so you guys understand what is the use of MSTSC, right? Others who are very new to this, MSTSC or your RDP. If you search for RDP, right, it is the same. Or in your run box, if you type the command MSTSC, it is the same. All right. So why do we use remote desktop? We use a remote desktop, as the name suggests, to connect to a machine remotely. All right. This 18.208, right? This is a different machine. This is not on my network. Okay. And this machine, I've kept all the ports open. I'll tell you what's a port and all of it, right? So you guys don't understand what a port is. So whenever we connect to a different system, or let's say any okay, for example, I am going to browse something, right? Even this for that matter, my AWS console, right? When I browse something, you see this, it is using a particular service, right? It is a HTTPS service, right? Your HTTPS service, what is HTTPS service? It
Hi.
runs on a, sorry?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Please carry on.
No, 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 please tell me, please tell me.
Yeah, it's hypertext transfer protocol. It is secure, which helps in mitigating the man in the middle attack.
That is your S, right? Your secure, your layer when you add. Even your HTTP. So this is a service which is used, right, when you have to access anything on the internet, right? When you have to, not only internet, right? You use this particular, what do you call, service. So behind this, you have something called as a port, right? So every service is tagged to a particular port. Port is nothing but, it is like your door number, right? Port is nothing but your door number. So you can tell a person, let's say, we'll take an example of a Swiggy or your food delivery to be, to be generic. Let's say you order food, right? Of course, anything on Amazon also, when you give in your address, right? You're telling them your address, okay, this is where you have to come. You have to, drop in the parcel or the food, right? But the person can only reach out to you if your door is open, right? If your door is closed, of course, they won't be able to reach you, right? Very much similar to that, these services, HTTPS or your RDP, these are nothing but couple of service, these are various services which is running on a system, or which is, running on any machine for that matter, right? So when I say remote desktop connection, if you see here, let's just do a RDP port, okay, or let's see a port. Okay, so RDP is a Windows Terminal Server Protocol. Yes, this is a service. All right. To use this service, right, I should have a port open, because every service will have a port open. All right, we'll have a port, associated with it. Sorry, I mentioned RDP ports and port numbers. This is port. Let's put services and port. Okay, this should be fine. All right, you should understand the, you should know the basic ports. All right, so see here, FTP. What is FTP? FTP is used to, any guesses? FTP?
File transfer protocol.
File transfer protocol.
File transfer protocol. If you want to transfer files, right? And let's say it is some server which is used only to store, transfer files, right? So here you see HTTPS, right? It will be FTP. Those are FTP sites. And to use this service, you need to have the port open. Which port? It is 20 and 21. All right, if I want to use FTP, I have to keep these ports open. If I want to use SSH, right, I'm supposed to use port 22. If you remember yesterday, right, I was connecting to a Linux machine. How was I connecting? I mentioned as SSH and I mentioned the port. So these services will be running on a particular port. Okay, to reach this service or to use this service, we have to make sure this port will be open. The port is open. All right, port is nothing but, it is a logical term. It's not something physically which is present on your systems, right? It is a logical term. Or all you can do is, what you can do is, you can do a, okay, since I'm already on the system, so something. If you have your systems, right, if you are using your laptops, try to use cmd command prompt, right, and just do a, there's something called as a netstat. All right, if you do a netstat, right, you will get to know what is the IP that your system is connecting to. This is the IP it is connecting to. All right, and what you see here, local address. Yeah, what you see here, this is the RDP, right? 3389. This is the port number. You will also get to know what are all the different ports which is open on your system. On your system, what are the different ports which is open? So if I have to connect to any system, right, I should make sure, if I have to connect remotely using RDP, I have to make sure 3389 is left open. This is the port, whatever you see here. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, so why I told about port is because when you should familiarize yourself with all of these services and port numbers, at least the main ones. All right, there are chances of this being asked in your interviews as well. Okay, so make sure you understand this. I hope this was already covered in your first module T1. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Yeah, Shruti.
Yes, yes or no?
Yes, Shruti, yes.
Yes, it was already covered, right? Okay. So what I wanted to tell was, so I took a RDP. I'm into this machine. So RDP, I used to connect remotely. All right. So once I'm in that machine, what did we do yesterday? We wanted to just check what are these Windows logs? What is it that is going to help us? Why do we even, monitor these logs? Right, Windows logs. So under Windows logs you have application logs, which talks about the different applications installed on this system. All right, and security logs is what we will emphasize more on, which talks about there are multiple what do you call activities, there are multiple events that happens, not only log in and log off, right? There could be some error as well, there could be some information, right? If I apply some patch, right, if I apply some patch, where is it? Okay, there's nothing in system. Okay, if I apply some patch, there will be a event ID for that. If I let's say if I restart my system, if I reboot the system, okay, if this machine gets disconnected or powered off, right, everything is an event, right? Everything is an event, and to identify each event, right, it is like a name given to a name given to that particular event. So if you see here, all of this, all right, it's all something to do with where is it? Device setup manager service diagnostic system. Let's not worry about that. One moment. Yeah. If you talk about audit success, all right, which talks about logon. So all your logon activities, right, it is tagged as 4624. Okay, and all your log of activities are tagged as 4634. That means it is trying to generalize. What is your event ID? Event ID is nothing but a number, right? A number associated with a particular event. What is that event? Log off is the event, or log on is the event. Here we see special log on, right? Yesterday someone was asking. So if you see here, special logon means nothing but once you log on, right, there'll be privileges that will be assigned to you, right? So that is your special logon. See, special privileges assigned to the new logon. So these are the various privileges that is assigned as soon as you log on. Okay, so if you see some logon activity, see again you have a special log on, special privileges. That is nothing but once you log on, what are the privileges that is being assigned to you? That is called as a special, that is your special logon. And if you see all your special logons where some privileges is assigned to you, it is all the same event, right? Hence, they all have the same event ID. Special logon 46272, 4672, it is the same. So event ID is nothing but what do you call, it is like you're naming you're tagging it, right? All you're grouping all the similar events and you're giving it a tag. The tag is nothing but your event ID, which says 4672. So when you give event ID is equal to 4672, it gives you all the list of special logons only, nothing else. All right, it is nothing but an identification number assigned to a particular event. That's it, nothing else. I hope that clears out doubt which I was asked yesterday, right? So over here, you just where's logon activity? Yeah, when it comes to the logon, right? The things which you have to emphasize more on is what is the account that is trying to log in, all right? What is the account name, right? The account name, and of course the logon type. Yesterday I've shared the document which has all of this information, different logon types, right? And the impersonation level is the amount of authority a person has when they log into a system, all right? Or when they log into a system. And of course, another important thing is the source network address. Which IP are we seeing these logins from? So yesterday I asked you guys to, do a RDP to the system. So we were able to capture your IP addresses, your somebody, some of you had passed in your, email ID in the username, right? So we were getting all of that information, right? So this is something which is important, and as and when we work further, you will be able to connect the dots, all right? So please go back, see your Windows Event Viewer logs, try to enter a wrong password into your system, see what is it that you get, what is try to log in after which, right? See if you are able to generate these logs, right? Try to understand about this. Okay, Deepak, is that clear? Yeah, yes, Deepak, that happens even for me. That happens. Yes, if you're locally connecting to your system, right? It happens at times. But mostly when you are remotely connecting, or if someone is trying to authenticate, right? Even in your organizations, right? You will be able to get this, you know, what is this? Source network address. You will be able to get it. That shouldn't be a problem. Is that right, Deepak? Able to follow? Any doubts? Please do let me know. Clear? Cool. Okay, so now we saw Windows Event Viewer logs, right? Linux, we just saw where the logs are stored. We will go through the logs later because I'll be showing those logs to you. And now let's proceed let's proceed further. Okay, so okay, this is done. Give me a second. Sorry. Yeah. Here we are. I just wanted to delete few things before showing it to you guys. Okay. Let me know if my screen is visible. So this is the same thing, whatever we spoke about yesterday, right? Towards the end, I gave a small activity. Correct. So many of you got it right. Yes. But when you see something like this, right? When you see something like this, try to read the log, all right? If at all you come across something which you are not sure of, you do not know what this is, it does not make sense to you, right? Try to Google about it. Try to Google about it. Try to see what is panorama. It says PANFW and it says panorama. Just do a simple Google search. You need not know everything, right? So panorama, pan FW, that is what it was there, right? So you can just Google, you will easily able to find out that it is Palo Alto, Palo, Panorama, right? This is a firewall log. This is a firewall log. So what is Palo Alto? Palo Alto is the vendor, right? Palo Alto is the vendor. When I say vendor, it's they are the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, right? So there they have a firewall, right? So the logs what we are getting is from a firewall. So this is a firewall log. All right. So under firewall, if it is a like a next gen firewall which has the capability to capture, to be able to alert you when there is a threat. It could be a URL which is malicious or a file, right? So these firewalls, next gen firewalls, have the capability to identify, right? This is one such firewall because it says threat. Do you see here? It says threat. Well, again, I'm gonna mute here. Please be a little careful, guys. Okay. So this is your firewall log. And what do you understand by a firewall? What do you guys understand by a firewall in a very simple term? Simplest of the simplest term. So, Kavya, Anwar, any one of you, or Chandru. So, what do you understand by a firewall?
It's a packet filtering
It
device.
is a security device which monitors and
Go ahead.
controls the incoming and outgoing traffic.
Okay, simple terms, yes. It is there at your perimeter. That means at your towards the end of your network, all right, wherein it checks what are the IPs that are allowed to enter your network, at which port, I mean on which port, right? So the basic, if I'm talking about the basic firewall, like your ACL, right, that is what they do. Correct. So to understand these logs, looking at this, it is difficult for us to understand what this IP is, how is this IP, and why is this IP, why are there two IPs over here, right? It will be difficult for us to understand. So to make things easy, right, all your, I mean your vendors will provide documentation as to what your logs look like, as to what their logs look like. So if you just do a Google search, now we know it is a Palo Alto device, right? It is a Palo Alto firewall. So what we can do, just type Palo Alto firewall log format. Okay. If you just Google about Palo Alto firewall log, right, you will get couple of links. Okay, so since it is threat log, I had even given that, right? Just a Google search will give you this result. All right, open the threat log because we are dealing with threat log. Please notice here it says it is threat. Correct? It says it is threat log. So we'll open their documentation. See, it is Palo Alto Tech Docs. So these guys, right? These guys Huh. So these guys tell us what is it like when they each device, when we get logs from each device, right? They have their own format of logging the data, right? Each and every one has a different way of storing the data, logging the data, right? So to be able, so to make everybody understand that this is what our logs are, this is what it means, right? This is what this IP means, this is what this IP means. There should be a documentation, right? So this is one such documentation, right, from Palo Alto, which tells you what is the threat log and what are the different values. So let me ping this for you guys in the group. All right. Now, what have they told us? It's a documentation which talks about the format. They're going to tell us This is the exact raw log from Palo Alto threat. This is a Palo Alto threat log, and looking at this, we will get to know what is, we'll get to know what are these different values. This document will help us understand what are the different values. So let me split the screen so that we can see both of it. What is the command? There is some command to split the screen. Let's know. You guys know how to split the screen? Anybody? No? Okay, never mind. Think I've done it somehow.
Windows, right? Try Windows key and left arrow.
Windows left arrow. Yes, thank you very much. Yes. I was doing Alt. Okay, so you guys can see both of these screens, right? Properly? Is this too small for you guys?
No, no, it's visible. It's okay.
Okay, so it's proper, I believe now, correct? So this is a format given by Palo Alto. So this is published, all right? So when we are getting the logs from Palo Alto, right, we don't have to do anything manually, right? Your SIM understands this format. Okay, they know if it is coming from Palo Alto, this is the format that it follows, and it can do all the parsing activity, whatever you guys are doing on its own. The SIM will do it by understanding the format. So now we'll be doing whatever the SIM does manually. All right. So if you compare this and this, right? So forget about something till here probably, right? Because whatever you see future use, right? You just forget about it. It's all about uh, the device. Okay. You can start with this. All right. You can start with this. The first, the second line. I'm gonna make it a little big, probably. Okay, so if you look at this, all right, it says received time, right? Then it says serial number, right? So this is the time, this is the received time from here to here. And then you have a serial number next to that. And they say after that, you see the threat content type. Of course, we are seeing the threat. What is the, what is the type, right? It is a threat log. It is not a it is not just a traffic log, it's a threat log because it is able to capture the threat, right? Next gen firewall, right? So it says it is a threat. And what kind of a threat is it? It is a URL. It's a URL. So if I scroll down, it talks about type. It specifies the type of log, that is it is the threat log. All right. And what type of a threat is it? Is it a data? Has it matched some data? Is it a file? Right. It's flood is nothing but your SYN flood attack. It could be a SYN, your what do you call? There are multiple what do you like your SYN attack, right? SYN flood attack, right? It talks about those. And this
ICMP
is the
flood.
sorry,
ICMP flood.
ICMP, yes, ICMP flood attack. So it talks about that. And this is the triggered by a zone of protection, packet based protection, right? If at all what is a scan detected via zone protection. Not sure of this, but never mind, you don't have
I
to
think it must
go
be
and
nmap
get.
scans.
It is like when there is some vulnerability scanners, which is readily available, right? So could be that, but it says zone protection profile, which I'm not too sure, right? So any spywares that is detected, any URL, virus. So here it says vulnerability. So I don't know about this, but anyway, right? So these are the various uh, threat categories that this firewall can capture, right? It can capture and it can alert. So it talks about what is the type of threat. It is, you know that it is a threat log, but what kind of a threat it is? Has it detected a URL or a file or a virus? What is it? That is what they tell you, and it says it is URL. You're understanding how this works? So whatever is over here, right, we just have to go through it, and if you see here, that talks about the type, it is threat, and next is the next talks about the content type, which is of course URL. All right, again, future use is something which is with respect to the Palo Alto, the vendor, so you can leave that. Generated time, source IP. So where is our source IP? This is our source IP. You understanding, everybody? So looking at this, I'm just looking at this and I'm marking my fields. Looking at this, I see, okay, there is some generated time. If you see, there is a generated time, and after which there is a IP. So yes, this must be the source IP. After the source IP, they say the next field would be your destination IP. So yes, there is an IP over here. It is looks like a public IP. It should be a it's a destination IP, right? And if you go a little further, you see something called as a NAT source IP. So that's the reason you see 4 IPs over here. So what has happened? This particular IP, this is the source IP. It is reaching out to the internet. So when it reaches out to the internet, the NAT thing happens. That's the reason you see the source NATed IP, right? You see the source NATed IP and your your public IP, of course, it remains the same because this is the destination, right? It's the NAT destination IP, which is the same. So here we go. So this is how you identify. You don't have to do this manually, mind you. I'm going on repeating it. You don't have to do it manually. It is just for our understanding, to understand what are these things. What is the source IP? What is this IP? This is the destination IP. Now, can you guys look at this and tell me what is the source and destination port? Source and destination port. You can just type in your answers in the group chat. Try to involve. All right.
Destination IP is 443.
Destination port is 443. What is the source port?
Confused
So you
here.
just have to compare. Over here, it is the same fields. Okay, the field names are the same. The values are here. You have to match. That's all.
Yeah, it is 64422.
Okay, how about others? Can you please post it in the chat as well?
I think source port is 672863.
That is not
Which one you're
6422.
seeing? So let's go
Sorry,
here.
sorry.
No problem. So it says source port and destination port, right? So there's something called repeat count. Repeat count. So yeah, this is the repeat. This is the session ID. This is the repeat code. This will be your source IP, because we know 443. It is an outbound activity. It's 443. It is HTTPS traffic. So this has to be the destination. This has to be the destination port. So if this is the destination port, the one behind it will be the source port according to the format. So that will be this. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes, Suti. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a couple of ports even after that. That will be your NATed source port, and of course your destination port remains the same. That's the 443.
Hello, Stuti.
Yes,
Yeah. What is that exit? 19882.
this is this one, right? You tell me what this
Yes.
is. This is not, if you, okay, see, if you just go forward, you will be able to find out that it is the source NAT port. What is a source NAT port? So when this, okay, before that, can you guys tell me whether this is an inbound or an outbound activity? Outbound traffic or an inbound traffic? Is it an inbound or
Yes,
an
ma'am.
outbound traffic?
Outbound traffic.
How about others?
Inbound traffic.
Traffic
I'm saying
near
same.
the firewall.
Sorry.
Firewall it's inbound, like because it's the IP address is 1060.3.123.
It's outbound.
Private IP.
Yeah, correct.
It's out.
So if you look at the IP, right? This is our source IP. How did we find out? Just by looking at this, right? It says, where is it?
Yeah.
Source IP, right? Source IP is 10 dot series. Your 10 dot series is your private range, right?
Private.
So if you look at the destination, it is a public IP, right? It is a public IP, 120, 120 dot whatever. This is a public IP. So what is happening here? The IP, I mean the traffic is going from private to public. That is, a person inside of the organization is trying to go outside into the public. So when a person is leaving, when you are leaving your house, you're leaving your private property and getting onto the public property, the road. So what are you doing? You're getting out of the house, right? You're going out of the house. That means it is an outbound activity. So these days, I'm just saying, right? When we are going out, we wear a mask, we mask ourselves, right? And then go to the public. Very much similar when your private IP has to reach out to the public, right? It can't go as a private IP, right? It has to be natted. Sorry, yeah, it has to be natted. Why? Because the private IPs is something which cannot be used in the internet. It is not routable in the internet. Only the public IPs are able to, I mean, you can only use public IPs in the internet. It is routable through internet, right? So what is happening here? This private IP is converted into a public IP. 19.31 is your public IP. So when this natting is happening, your port will also get natted. So this was your source port, right, which is associated with your private IP, right? But when the natting is happening, you have been given a public IP, right? Even your source port gets natted, and this is the natted source port 19882. Is that clear? Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
So when you're leaving the network, right, your private IP has to be natted to a public IP so that it is accessible in the internet. All right. So when this natting happens, even your port gets natted, and that is your source nat. I mean nat source port. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe
Yes, clear.
inbound, outbound. So now we know, I mean, is it clear? Why is it an outbound? Because the traffic is from the private network to the public. Now,
Background noise is coming. Some
from my end,
not sure. Like
Yeah.
I think it would be from mine because there's a garbage truck which has come up to pick the garbage. So
okay, no problem.
just give me a minute. I'll try to device settings. I've kept it high. Noise suppression. Noise suppression is high. Don't know why. Okay. Anyway, I hope it is fine now.
Yeah, it is fine.
Yeah, fine. That's fine. Yeah, we can
Okay.
understand.
All right. Uh, Next, can you guys tell me? Okay, I'm going to. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, now can you guys tell me if you can find what is the uh, what was the URL that was actually identified as malicious or as a threat? Can you find out that?
Is it a
Yeah,
What is
win
actually
win.data.microsoft.com?
yeah, right.
ws.data.microsoft.com.
so this one? How did we find out it is this? Because we just have to go ahead. We know what is the source and destination port, right? We just have to go
Yeah.
ahead. There is something called URL and file name, whatever that was detected, right? It is just this, right? It is just that. Now, can you tell me whether that's okay? That's okay. That should be fine. And now, if you see here, what is this? What is the protocol? What is the protocol?
TCP.
TCP.
TCP protocol.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the TCP protocol. And
TCP.
when it has
Yeah.
identified this, right? When it has identified this
Yeah.
particular threat, you see something called as action. What is the
Alert.
action? Action is
Alert.
the alert. Yeah, that's right.
Alert.
So, absolutely. So,
So
what has happened
if it
was
blocks, it will be blocked.
correct. Yes. So, it depends on what your organization setting is. So, probably they just wanted it to be alerted, right? That's the reason it is only alert. Right? You might have got an alert saying that there's an outbound activity happening. This IP, I mean, this URL looks suspicious. It is not have tested. All right. It is just, we have sanitized this particular URL. That's the reason. Right. So, yeah, this is the URL. This looks to be some kind of a threat. Okay. And I'm going to trigger an alert. That is why you see it as alert as the action. If you see action, it is alert. Okay, everybody clear?
Yeah. Stuti, I have doubt
Yes.
Yeah.
one.
Yes. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to see the screen.
Yes.
In that, after
Mm-hmm.
443, the number of that 0x40, what is that?
This one, right?
Yes.
Even I don't know. We have to check over here, right? So if we check over here, what does it say? It talks about a flag. Okay, these are the
Mm.
flags. But
Okay.
remember, there is so much of information here which is not really required for us. So that is the reason what we are doing. We are pulling out only the things which is going to help us in our analysis, which is going to make sense, which is going to make sense to us. Okay, even when you get all of these logs onto your sim, right, you will see this log entirely like this. Okay, but I don't need to know what is the UUID. I don't need to know the destination VM UUID. I don't need to know what is the flag, right? I just want to know which is important, which is going to help me in my investigations or analyzing. So what is that? That is my source IP. That is my destination IP. What is the thread that was captured, right? What is the file or the URL, whatever that is? Definitely the ports, right? And of course, port means you will also understand whether it is TCP or UDP, right? Whatever the service is running, right? So these are all the information that is important to us, and we will capture only those information because there is so much of unwanted information for us. All right.
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing. 1 minute. Okay. Now you guys, here is another one. Can you guys tell me what this is? Deepak, can you give it a try? This is another log. This is a different log, right? Sorry, Deepak, I missed your message. 1 second. If we give action as alert, it will allow that IP and then alert, or it will block. No. If it is alerting, then it will only alert. If at all the action is to block, you will get it in under action as it was denied or blocked. Right? To be frank, we don't know what was the exact action that was set up in this particular organization from where we got the logs. All right, looking at the action, since it says only alert, it is safe to assume that they're going to only alert when some some threat is identified, outbound connection, some threat is identified. This is
Okay.
only message information.
This
is
is a
only
DNS
message
query.
information. Check.
This is a DNS query. I mean DNS packet. This is UDP product.
DNS request, you mean to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
DNS.
But why? What is it? From which device are we getting these logs?
Panorama, Palo Alto.
How about others?
Same.
Same?
Same, it's a firewall log.
Firewall log? Yeah, what firewall log is this? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to raise a hand.
Traffic.
Sorry, Syed, Kavya, Pooja, right? What kind of a log is this?
Is it traffic log?
Yeah. So if you do not understand, you just have to check this, right? Google about this, right? You will definitely get to know it's a firewall log. It's the same thing whatever we checked earlier, but if you see here, it is a traffic log, right? It is a traffic log. In traffic log, yeah, traffic alert. Okay, it's not an alert as such, it's just a log, which is it's a traffic log which talks about what is allowed, what is denied, right? It is just that. Yes, right. Thank you, everybody. So this is a traffic log. So if I have to compare, right, I cannot compare with this. Why? Because it is a threat log, right? It is all about the threat log. So I have to go back and check what is the traffic log. So traffic log fields is where you will get. I'm going to hit traffic log format. So this is my traffic, right? Traffic log fields. Now, can you guys tell me, it would be helpful if all of you giving answers, right? Or you can use the chat box, right? What is the source IP? What is the destination IP? Is it allowed or denied? The source IP, the destination IP, whether it is allowed or denied.
It is
It's
allowed.
UDP protocol, it's allowing, and source port is 10.192.104.61.
Okay. Allowed. I can please put in the answers as well. Source IP and destination IP. What is the source IP, destination IP?
And the destination is 20.67.222.222.
Very good.
That's outbound traffic.
Now. Anwar, is it an outbound or an inbound traffic? So look at this. This is the IP, right? you guys told me that this is the source IP. How did we
Yeah.
get to know? We just compared this with this, right? It says this is the source IP. Yeah, it is a source IP. Very well. Yes, and this is the destination IP, right? This is the destination IP. So what is this? Is this an inbound activity or an outbound activity? So remember, 10.series is your private IP, right? It's your private IP, and 20.series is your public IP. So it is moving. It is moving from private to public. So
It's outbound traffic.
you're leaving. Just take a very simple example, all right? Example of your house. Your house is private to you, right? When you're leaving the house, that means you're getting out of the house. You're going out. That is outbound activity, all right? And also, please know what are the private IP ranges. That is very important. Are you guys aware of private IP ranges?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yes.
because that has been told us in
That's been taught. Okay, yes.
T1.
Please make a, if it's very, I mean, I know for people, to people whom it's very new, right, the topic, it might be a bit confusing about the private IP range, but make sure you just write it down somewhere and see that range or go through that range, right, every day, right, so that it registers in your mind when you see a 10 dot series, right, you know that is a private range, that is not a public IP. Okay, please make sure you make a note of the private ranges somewhere. Okay, so this is nothing but a,
Is inbound. Is
sorry,
inbound. I believe is inbound. Is an inbound traffic.
it's not inbound, it's outbound, right, Ken? So if you look at this, right, the 10.192 IP, what does it say? It is a source IP, right? I'm just tagging the field name with the value. So the field name says source IP, so source IP it is. And if I see the destination IP, it is 20.67, right? So 10.192 is my private IP, is the private IP range, right?
Hey, sorry for interrupting. Is this the only way we can assume that if starts for private IP, then we can, assume that it's outbound traffic?
Yeah, looking at the IPs, you will be able to know. Looking at the IP and the port.
What if
My
it starts for, public IP from, source IP?
Yeah, then it will be inbound traffic. Let's say the very same thing, right? If at all the source is 20, right? And this would have been, where is it? Cut this. This is the source, this is the destination. So that means the traffic is originating from somewhere in the public, and then it is hitting something, internally, right? So this becomes an inbound traffic, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it is always important to understand the.
Sometimes some devices have a public IP in internal also, right?
It depends on where your firewall device is hosted, whether it is a perimeter device or if it is somewhere in, how is the traffic that is being going through. So if at all, let's say if your IP is leaving the organization, right, then you would definitely see the private IP, because if at all your firewall is placed at the perimeter and the NATing also happens over here, right, if before it leaves, right, that's where you will be able to capture the private IP itself.
If it is
so my
public IP, it doesn't require to NATing, right?
See, if at all you're in an organization, right, internal communication, whatever happens, of course you will have a private IP, isn't it?
My question
Only
is,
if that,
in internal
let's say,
organizations
for
also
example,
having some public IPs, right?
I'm sorry.
No, internally in organizations have a couple of devices have public IPs, right? It assigned by
Yes, you will
network.
have private and the public IPs. Yes. In that case, what you can do is you can look into the port. You can definitely check the port. So why port? Because when any connection is initiated, right? So your source port, whatever the port, whichever is assigned to that IP, right? That will be a random port which is generated, right? But if you look at the destination port, it will be some service that it is trying to access. It could be DNS, it could be your HTTP, right? So your outbound or your destination port, which would tell you, if you look at the destination port, it will tell you whether it is an, what you call, it's an outbound activity. I mean, if at all it is trying to reach to some kind of a service, right? Definitely looking at the port and IP combination, you will be able to figure out whether it is an inbound or an outbound traffic. Because for, looking at this, right? If you look at the source, it is a random random port which is assigned to it, right? But if you look at 53, right? If you look at 53, we'll get to know it's a DNS request, and of course, this is a destination port.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Private IP range. Where's the private IP range? Yeah. So please remember this. Yep. So Ken, you said it is inbound. So if you look at this, what does it say? It is the private IP range, right?
Yeah.
All of these are private IP ranges. So if you look at this class A, this IP falls under
The
this
private
range,
IP.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
what am I doing? I'm going out of my house. This is my private space. 10 dot series is my private space. 20 dot series doesn't fall into any of these
Any of the
classes,
range. Okay.
right? So anything apart from this will be your public IP, correct? So what am I doing? I'm leaving my private space. I'm going to the public space. That means it is an outbound activity. All right, is that clear?
Clear.
Okay, so traffic logs. Okay, now there's something else which is important apart from the IPs, the ports, the services, action, allow, drop. Do you see something called as bytes? Can you give me the bytes information comparing the field name with the values? Can you give me the bytes information? So when I say bytes, sorry, is my voice breaking? My voice is breaking. Is my voice breaking? Am I not clear?
No, Stuti.
No,
It's
no.
good.
Now it's good, ma'am. Now it's good.
Oh, okay, Pooja. Oh, okay, all right, sorry. So my question is bytes information. So bytes is nothing but whenever the packet is captured, right? So it has some it'll have some amount of data that is being transferred, right, in bytes. So that is captured in bytes, right? The amount of data that is being transferred, whether inbound or whether it is being sent or it is received, right? So that is what the bytes information. So can you guys find out the bytes information?
Is it 254 bytes?
2818191.
254.
254.
2818191. Where is it? This one? No. Please check. So see here, it talks about bytes. So you will have bytes information after there's something called action and protocol.
Yes.
Right? You know, it is a DNS request. A DNS is your UDP, right? If you check for UDP, you have UDP here. After UDP, it says action, which says it is allow.
Hello.
After allow, it says bytes. This bytes is nothing but total bytes. That is bytes sent plus bytes received. What is 155 plus 99? 254, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the bytes which is sent 99. This is the bytes which is received 155, right? This is the total bytes or bytes. That is 254.
So it's a complete packet byte
Yeah.
size.
Okay, is that clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's clear.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Any doubts? Any doubts, guys? So far, any doubts? Let's clear it off if you have any doubts.
Hello.
So
Sudhi.
try to Google. Yeah, please tell me. Yes.
What about in the upper line? May 7 4 4
Ha,
3
that is
5.
what I
It is
said, right? This much you can ignore because it is something to do with the vendor, right? The IP address of the device, the version on which it is running, right? You can ignore this.
okay.
Can you mark out the
It's
source and destination location?
location you can find. Yes, you will also find the location, United States, right? Source doesn't matter because it's a private IP, right? So the destination which it would have captured. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, you will definitely able to find the destination IP. I mean, sorry, destination location information also you can find. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anybody? So our source IP, destination IP, the port, action, whether it is allowed or denied, the bytes information, and of course the location, right? These are the few important what you call fields to look for in your traffic logs.
There
I'm
is
just
there's
talking
one
about
field
traffic
called
logs. I'm sorry.
there is one field called device name. I mean, which is it a host device or a Palo Alto device?
Device name, is it?
Yeah.
It's device name.
Down is it? Third.
Device name. Yeah, it would be a vendor associated name, I guess. Is that everybody clear so far? No doubts?
Yeah, Stuti, clear.
When the message is from private to private, it is inbound or outbound?
Private to private will be inbound only, no? Inbound as in, the thing is, see, you will be able to see private to private if you are capturing that particular traffic. Let's say, for example's sake, all right, let's say in your organization, you have some internal firewall. Let's say this is a firewall device. All right, I'm just giving you an example. Let's say this is the DB. All right, this is an internal firewall for your DB. All right, if you are checking logs from this device, obviously we are all in the same network. Let's say this is the firewall. All right, and this is your some other server. All right, to access this particular DB, you have a separate level of security. Let's say you have a firewall device. Okay, so when you are monitoring the logs from this device, obviously, right, it will be internal to internal because all of this is in the same network. Your server is trying, or your desktop, whatever, is trying to access a DB server, right? So this will also be an internal IP. This will also be an internal IP. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Anything, any doubts so far?
No,
No.
it's good.
Okay. All right. So I have one more task for you guys. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Okay. Here is another log. Can you take a guess as to what kind of a log is this? From which device this log is from?
It's an antivirus log from Symantec.
Endpoint protection.
Okay, okay. Any other guesses? Sorry, I need to look at the names. Oh, yeah. Any other guesses, guys? Please, you can also post it in the chat. I'm looking into the chats as well. So,
Endpoint security.
endpoint security, everybody? Everybody? Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much straightforward, right? It says semantic SCP, endpoint protection, semantic server, right? And things to look for in your AV logs is nothing but you at times you'll get the IP address, times you don't,
It is
right? So
SHA
this
256.
is, I'm sorry, someone said something? I couldn't hear, sorry. So yeah, anyway, at times you will get the IP addresses or you will get the host name, all right? You will get the host name, all right? And one thing to look for in your AV logs is if it is a hash detection, you would definitely find the hash value of the file. You will definitely get the hash value of the file. Yes,
Okay.
this is the
Okay,
hash
yes.
value to look for. But do you think, okay, that's a question. How does antivirus detect any malware?
Signature based most of the time.
By signature.
Signature.
By
Hash.
signature. Okay.
Behavior
So what if
analysis.
it is something new? All right. There is no signature or hash value as of yet.
It will
Maybe
quarantine
all are
it.
known. I'm
Behavior
sorry.
analysis.
It may consider as
Behavior.
unknown.
Correct. It's just behavior analysis, right? That's called heuristics or behavior. So you will also get to know whether it was, a hash-based detection or it was matching the heuristics. That means the behavior of that particular file. Looking at the behavior, but not at the hash, right? Not at the hash, but looking at the behavior. It has termed a particular file as a malware, and definitely you will get the username. All right, username is something you will definitely get from your AV logs. So things to look for in your AV logs is the host name, all right, the user. In some cases, you do get the IP addresses, right? And of course, the hash value and what kind of a malware was that? Was that a Trojan, rootkit, whatever the detection it has matched, you will get that also. And there's one more important thing I'll show you when I tell you the alert analysis, right? The action. You think AV detects everything and everything, all the files whichever is termed as malicious gets deleted?
No.
What?
No, right?
Audio.
Sometimes the antivirus will quarantine, sometimes it deletes, right? Sometimes it tells you that the file is left alone. It is left alone. It doesn't know what action to take. It is not able to decide. It is not able to delete it. So it says it is left alone. So it should also look into the action. What is the action? That is from the AV. All right, like we have in our firewall, right? We have in a firewall whether to allow or to drop, right? Similarly over here, the action, what is the action that was taken by the antivirus to quarantine the file, or it deleted the file, or it just left it alone, right? These are the things which you should look for. Okay, so is this clear till here, everybody? We will look into other, we will look into web server logs as well, but I don't want to show it to you right now. Once we get the web server logs, we'll actually set up a web server, right? I will show you the logs then. All right, it would be you guys can easily understand from there.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so is this clear till here, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, clear, Stuti. Yeah.
Okay, please let me know if at all you guys have any questions. But action mentioned as blocked. Yeah, over here it could be blocked. Where is it blocked? Block malicious, right? I'm just giving an example that it is blocked over here, action. I'm just telling you that there are scenarios wherein the action could be quarantined, action could be left alone, right? Action could be deleted, right? So these are the in this log. Yes, in this log, yes. So no doubt so far. Okay. So a couple of
No,
things
it is
which is
clear.
okay. Couple of things which is important is like no action taken. What do you mean by left alone? Left alone is nothing but the AV is unable to take a call whether to delete it or to quarantine it, right? It needs probably some more information also. So it alerts you, it sends an alert, all right, saying that this is the file or this is the file which is looks suspicious, but action taken will be left alone, all right, because it wouldn't know what to do with that particular file. So in such scenarios, we as analysts come into picture, check what that file is, try to get the hash value if any, all right, try to understand what that file is, what is the path, where was that installed, why was that installed, right? We have to do all of this little bit of analysis, then take a call. If it is not an allowed list of software, get it deleted, scan the machine and all of it, right? Yeah, like no action taken. Yes, no action was taken. Yes. Okay, is that clear, Medha? Okay, so till now what are the different logs we went through? It was our Windows event viewer logs, right? Windows event viewer logs, right? Then firewall logs, your threat and traffic log, and then we saw AV log. I will show you how our web server logs looks as well, probably in a day or two. All right, you will understand how a web server logs look like as well. And web server DNS, I'm going to show both of this in Splunk itself because these are little modified logs, so you'll understand it better if I show it in Splunk. Okay, so what are these different things, guys? What are these? What is Windows Event Viewer logs? What is firewall, AV? These are the different devices from where we are getting these logs, right? So what does it mean? Can we term these as log sources? Can we term these as log sources? What is a
Yeah.
log source? From where we are getting the logs, as simple as that, right? From whichever device we are getting the logs, that will become a log source. Yes or no? So if I'm fetching the logs from my firewall, so it will be my source for a firewall log. So all of these can be considered, can be termed as log sources. Correct? All of these are our log sources. And why are we learning about these logs is because when you deal, can you please go on mute? So when we start with SIM, right? When we start with SIM, like I said, right? When we start working on alerts, how are these alerts? How do these alerts come into being, right? Because we would have got a lot of information. Information is nothing but whatever data or your logs, right? You get the logs basically from all of these devices, from various log sources. You dump in a place and then you start building your queries so that if it matches a criteria, it triggers an alert, right? So for you to write the queries, right, you should understand what is there in a particular log. Like for example, if you want to write a query to alert you whenever there's an outbound traffic over port 3389. What is 3389? This port
RDP.
3389.
RDP.
RDP.
It's a RDP, remote desktop. This is what it is, right? Remote desktop, right? It's an RDP protocol. So let's say you guys have to create an alert to identify any outbound traffic, correct? Outbound traffic over the port 3389. So we can't just straight away go ahead, create an alert. We need to understand how the log looks like. How the log looks like. Do we have port information first of all? Can we capture port information? I can't pick up AV log and try to, build a query on top of this to block, or to alert when there is a interaction or when there is a, traffic over port 3389. It won't make sense. Why? Because there's an AV log. To get that sense of you know uh, understanding that which log to pick up for what kind of alert. And even if I pick up a firewall log, what is it? What are the different alerts that I can create, or I can come up with a firewall log? To get this understanding is why we went through this activity manually. And that is why we have to understand what these logs basically are. What is the information that this log holds, right? So looking at the log, you should be able to identify, yes, this is a firewall log. This is a Windows event viewer log, right? You should be in a position to understand or figure out what that log is. Okay, that's why your log analysis becomes important, and of course we need all of these logs. There are a couple of reasons why we would need to store these logs. One is definitely for our analysis. We would need logs. Any other reasons why we would have to have logs? Why we would need to get these logs? Analysis, monitor, whatever you may call it as.
To make sure like our organization is safe and secure. And
Yeah,
our
that
business
is
is running fine.
sure. Yeah, okay. That is why we are, analyzing, monitoring constantly, right? Detect malicious activity. Okay, yes. Anything else? Security purpose, if any. There is something called as audits. Yes, audits. Your organization face audits yearly or half yearly, depending on what kind of an organization it is, right? Isn't it? You face audits. So what happens in these audits? So if you have to if you have to pass in a particular audit, if you have to be certified, right? There'll be a set of guidelines. You have to follow those guidelines. So in one such guideline will be to store the logs probably for 1 year, right? You need to store these logs for 1 year. Why? Because let's say there is some investigation which has come up, or let's say you have to analyze, let's say it could be some activity, some malicious activity or something from our organization, right, which is initiated that activity, but we have to go back and search what is it, like what are the supporting documents to prove us, right, okay, this was initiated from us, or this was not initiated from us, or this was some automation activity, that's the reason we saw this traffic, right, that is the reason it has initiated this traffic from our end, right, it could be anything, right, we need to make sure that at least depending on the guidelines, right, we have to retain the logs for a period of time, at least 1 year. Most of the organizations it will be 1 year, right, so we have to have a proper log management, a proper log storage, right, why, because we have to face audits, and these are some of the important things when it comes to an audit, to tell them that yes, we are storing the logs, okay, and we are monitoring these logs, right, we are analyzing these logs, so that's also one more reason why it becomes important. Okay, not okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so
It's time for attendance.
yeah, thank you so much, give me a minute, I will initiate. Can all of you please log in? Okay, this was your assignment, I'll share this later. Can all of you please log into your magic portal, please? I'm going to initiate the attendance. Let me know once you guys are ready, please. I shall initiate once you guys are ready, when you guys are ready. So let me know. Hello,
Yes, we
am I
are ready.
audible?
Ready.
We are ready.
Yes, we are
Ready?
ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, Aarti, are you there? I hope you're there. Aarti, I hope you're here. I hope you can hear me. So we'll be taking the attendance. So I'm going to initiate the attendance.
Hello, Shruti ma'am.
Yes.
So this is Swapna ma'am. I was attending your class, but I unable to attend. Means mark attendance. Yesterday also I faced that problem, and also today.
While logging into your portal, is it that magic portal?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Have you
So please
reached out to
consider
S3?
I'm there for your class, please.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. But have you informed S3
Last
about
3 days
it?
I was there. Your
Uh,
first class, your yesterday's class, and also today I'm attending, but attendance didn't mark.
Acha, no problem. So reach out to your S3. Tell them this is the problem you're facing while logging into the portal. All right.
Okay.
So your S3 will be
Yes.
able to help you out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. I'm going to initiate attendance, guys. You have 5 minutes. So please, if you have logged in, just mark your attendance. Those of you have any issues regarding the portal or joining the meeting or your magic portal, please reach out to your S3s. And let me know once you guys are done. Right?
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Done. Super. So let me refresh. Few of you it's marked as absent. Just check with your S3s. If you're unable to, mark your attendance, all right? Just check with them. Not there. Fine. Okay, so shall we proceed? I'm just going to introduce to this concept of SIM and why do we need SIM and all of it. If you guys are ready, I'll proceed. If you need time, do let me know.
Just give like 2 or 3 minute break.
Sure. So 8:35. Shall I start at 8:35?
Sure.
Okay. You guys can take a quick break if you want, or you can stay here. And others, probably by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Can you guys tell me? I think we still have time about the timing. Right? You guys have to come up with a time and tell me that you want to practice at this particular time frame. So please make sure you communicate between yourselves.
I think someone have initiated regarding the lab tennis. Google Cloud Forms. Google Forms.
Yes, I saw that. I don't know if everybody responded. The other day he posted saying he's got only half 20 odd responses. So someone is taking that initiative. Please do respond.
I think Deepak, can you confirm how many people have completed the Google Forms so that we can notify to others also?
I think he's taken a break. So once he's back, you can ask him again.
Yeah. Sure.
Hello, Deepak. Hello.
I think Deepak is on a break.
Okay. Can you please share the form because I didn't get.
It is in WhatsApp.
He posted in WhatsApp, I believe. Let me check.
Yeah, it's there's a link in WhatsApp group. You can click it. Yeah.
Okay.
Deepak has mentioned 39 people have responded.
Just try to reshare if at all. Yeah. You want me to reshare in the group again? I'll just mention this. Sorry. I will not reply on that. Thanks for the initiative. Yes. Okay, that's the link I've reposted. I mean, I've just tagged it. So please respond, guys. There are no strict timings, all right? So I thought of starting probably from tomorrow. I mean, actually from today, but that's okay. We can extend a day or two here and there. But the only thing is you guys have to.
Stuti.
A new one, is it?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello? Yes?
Yeah. Actually, what happened? I am in a rotational shift. Then how I can manage? Because I mentioned in the morning session or in the evening session, sometime I'm not able to do. Then how I can manage? Because I
So,
am in a rotational shift.
so there are also people from other geolocations, right? So probably, see, if you're working, what is your shift timing when you say rotational? How often does your shifts change?
In the night, 10 to 7 in the morning, and in the evening 2 to 10 o'clock. In the morning, around 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. like that.
No, she's asking how often. So it is like every week the rota will get changed, or it's like monthly rota.
2 week, 2 week,
So
every 2 week.
every 2 weeks.
2 weeks, huh? Okay, okay, fine. So, okay, pick a timing somewhere in the evening, and if evening would match even the other people, I guess. So late night, if you guys want to work, I'm okay. So Sumit, if you're in night shift, so you said
Uh,
it's going to start from 10, right? So
yeah.
probably, I don't know, it'll be a stretch if at all we take it from 8 to 9, right? 8 to 9 or 10. 9 to 11 also, but it might be a stretch for Sumit. So we can keep 1.5 hours towards the end of the day and somewhere in the afternoon or something.
Okay. Is it possible for in the weekend? Because I get
Weekend, yeah, definitely. Weekend also, weekend anyway. You guys can
no
practice on weekends.
weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Weekend also, I'll give you access, but you just have to like come up with a time.
Yeah. Please.
So
So if you're not working full-fledged in the night shift from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m., you can also, practice somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So work isn't too hectic.
Stuti, how many participants are available for this batch?
How many?
Participant. How many resources are attending this batch?
So according to the attendance, it is around 54.
Okay, 54.
But
So
then
that
many of them are there now.
so another 15 people need to fill the form as per your count.
Yeah, as per that, yes. But
Yeah.
let's not keep waiting. All right. So post it again in the group tomorrow. I mean, just send a reminder again, probably tomorrow. All right. So make sure you decide by tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow. If you decide, that would be well and good. By tomorrow, if you guys get, let me know. So it will be well and good. And if at all people not responded, uh, let's see. They might respond once we get the access, right? Then they might come back and ask for access. So that time we'll figure it out.
Okay.
How will we come to know? What will we come to know? What? So Anwar, probably the timing you're asking, I'm not sure. As of now, I received 39 responses. In Google Form. Okay, so maximum 25% says 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So Anwar, you guys have to discuss either here or on WhatsApp, right? So if 9 to 11 is okay, I am okay to give you access from 9 to 11. Should be fine. I think that's. How about the folks in US or any other geolocation? Is 9 to 11, 9 to 11 IST. Please mention IST. It is 9 to 11 IST.
I think Deepak had shared the survey only for the people following the IST times.
Oh, is it? Okay. So is there
Yeah.
anybody who is taking up for, I think you can club everything in one. That shouldn't be a problem. So in afternoon, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Okay. But the majority is 9 to 11 p.m. IST. let's see. I need access. Kedar says he needs access. IST Kedar, is that IST? Afternoon 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Yes, IST. Okay. So please, it's a request. I cannot give access to just 1, 2, 3 people. At least if this batch is around 50, right? We can split, and I can, if at all there are at least 10 people who would want to work in the same timing as 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Just let me know. I will give access. All right. So just for 1 or 2 people, I cannot keep the servers running. All right, make sure if you can get more people to agree to your timings, then I don't really mind running the server from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m.
Stuti, can I manage the time according to my shift? Because I got, yeah, sometime
So
I'll
that's
go, yeah.
see. So looking at the chart, right? Yeah. Looking at the chart, we'll give access from 9 to 11. Majority of them do not give after 9. Okay. So what will I do? Is it okay if I give? Please do not give after 9 p.m. Is 7 to 9 okay? Or I can keep 7 to 8 1 hour and then 9 to 10 another hour.
7 to 9 is okay.
7 to 9 is okay?
Yeah.
Everybody?
No, actually, 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 is it?
Hey, not okay. Actually, I'm working in US. Most probably
Yes,
my
Stuti. We are in like noon shift, 2 to 10. At least post 10, it is
US
visible.
Guys, you're making this difficult for me. Okay, so I'll give you 2 slots. 2 slots. Select 2 slots. 7 to 8:30, 1 slot, and 1 more slot you guys decide. 1 more.
Stuti, I think we have two majority, right? 20% and 25%. So you can give on 9 to 11 and 7 to 9. That will be fine.
After
Yeah.
for
7 to 9
US,
to 11.
both the slots will be prime hours.
That's okay. I can give 4 hours. So is 7 to 11 okay? I'll leave it open. 7 to 11 okay? Everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
no, I'm
Okay.
not okay with that.
Who is not okay?
Yeah, this is Mohammed. I am working in US. It is on prime hours for me
Okay.
because morning meetings will be there from 7 to till 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So US folks, can you guys decide on a timing and let me know? Please tell it in IST. Please tell the timing in IST. You guys
Okay, we will
decide
do
and let me
that.
know. Okay.
The
So all
second
your
highest majority is for 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? Even that would work for some people, I guess.
11. Sorry.
Ah, yes,
The
11
second
a.m. to 2 p.m.
majority is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the
11 to 1.
daytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds good.
So 11 to 1.
Yeah, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
11 a.m.
After
to
this
1 p.m.
class, we just take
Yeah,
a break
IST.
and then start the
Cool. I
lab.
can do 11 to
I
1
think
p.m.
that,
And
yeah, that
then
sounds better. And
9.
yeah.
Is it possible 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.? Okay. So guys, okay. No.
No, it's 9
Okay,
to
you
11
guys
is hard
decide. You guys
after
decide.
completing.
You guys decide and let me know. 2
Okay,
timings.
so sorry.
2 hours. You guys can
While
split
you
it.
are
2
right,
hours in a day. Please consider everybody's request. All right. 2 hours. I mean 2 hours. You can split 2 hours and giving me 2 timings. Whatever timings left to you guys. Okay.
2 hours every day.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Stuti. Stuti, usually, like, pretty much we work in everybody majority shift, I believe, or maybe few general. So everybody shift will be typically same. If it is morning, they log in like 6, 5, or 7 o'clock. So anything in the morning one time, if you can, people can log in, or in the night 10 o'clock, I think people will be free. For foreigners also, EST time means there will be, it's a morning time for post 10 hour IST.
Yeah, one morning slot and one evening slot.
Yeah.
That's what. One morning, one evening. I'm fine with it.
Because in the
Yeah,
7 what happens,
that's
phones
what the
are there
survey
in the
says as
noon.
well.
Yeah. whomsoever in the noon, they won't be free. Usually everybody's login will be same, like 1 to 10 or
Yeah,
2 to
the noon
11.
is like an overlap. Yeah.
So we can choose any best time, like if anybody agree on the morning, some 10 to 11, 10 to 1 o'clock slot, or some 11 to 1:30, and in the
Right.
evening 10 o'clock is better. I feel like what people can say is that
10 to 11 is
Yeah,
good.
that sounds good
Yeah.
too. One in the morning and one in the night. So
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can manage
So
if they are in the rotating
Yeah.
shift as well.
yes, definitely. So that's why I said you can split up the timing. Whatever 2 hours you guys need, just let me know. I'll give you access. That's it. Okay, but so you guys are saying 11 or 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay, in the morning, right after the class, 9 a.m. to 11
No,
a.m.
it will be
No,
11 a.m. to
Stuti.
1 p.m.
Yeah, 11 to 1 fine. 9 to 11 should be hard. After completing this class, straight to lab, somehow
It's still
difficult.
exhausting.
Okay, so 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And what else? Evening, what is the time?
7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
9 to 11.
See, that you guys have to decide.
So
So this is one timing.
You can keep
The
10
evening
to
time, you guys
10.
fix and let me know. Morning
7
11
p.m.
to
to
1
9
is
p.m.
fixed.
in the evening.
Sorry?
7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening.
I think 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. is okay.
Fine. 7 to 9
7
it is.
p.m., 9 p.m., 7 a.m. to 11 a.m.
So 7 p.m. IST. Please remember I'm talking only in IST. So 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. Cool?
No, ma'am. Actually, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. is it? Please mention, because it work time.
Guys, okay, you
Most of the people have agreed for 9 to 11
Shruti,
p.m.
okay, let's not
Yeah,
it's
Shruti,
okay.
just
We'll pick a time in between that, all right? So 7 to 9, 9 to 11, we can keep it from 8 to 10. Is 8 to 10 okay? It will overlap both.
Okay, 8 to 10.
Yeah, is it
Is
okay?
8 to 10 okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they like at least consider 9. We
Yeah,
have
8 to 10.
till
8 to 10, right?
like we
So
have
8 to
shift
10 you
like
have
till at least 10 o'clock.
8
So
to 10.
that's the like business hours for other foreign countries. So we are kind of can't make it. At least I cannot make it in the noon
So it
shift.
is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So 9 p.m. falls under that, right?
If it is like
you
I
can
was
take the
saying, if it
morning
is
shift
9 to
in
11, I can at least somebody can go post like after 10 will be free. So 10 to 11, at least 1 hour we can access. If it is 8 to 10, it is literally work hours.
No, I'm talking about
you
8
can
p.m.
attend the lab in the morning session if that's the
Yeah, I should
case.
try that. Yeah.
No, Nivedita, I'm talking about 8 to 10 p.m.
Yes. That's what the noon shift is usually by like 1 to 10 or 2 to 11. At least post 10 will be.
In that case, I think you can use
Morning
morning.
slot 11 to
The
1 p.m. can be used.
8 p.m. EST to Central Time, USA is 9:30 in the morning. That's how most of the majority of us living abroad, we are working.
Okay, so 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST will not work for you guys. Is that what you're saying?
It will work.
Yes.
Yeah, it will work.
It will
It is the
work.
best time.
Yeah.
so
Yes.
From people
Shruti, sorry to
in
interrupt you
USA,
guys.
That
Sorry
time
to
does not
interrupt you
work.
guys. Like,
it will not work for
no,
us.
let's wind up everything because like for every person, like it won't work. So let's go on
Exactly. So
majority, like
somewhere,
morning 2 hours and evening 2 hours.
somewhere we have to adjust a little bit here and there. So let's not can consider 3 slots, please. Okay.
I think that's why we're having morning and night options. Anybody that can't fit in the morning should be able to fit in the night.
Can we have on weekend also those who need for weekend?
Yeah, weekends definitely. I can give you access on weekends for sure. So no. So guys, this is a first task. All of you agree upon
We'll
2 timings.
discuss in group and
Yeah,
we'll get back.
yes, please discuss in the group and come back to me. You just tell me what timing you need. I'm going to give you the timing. 2
Stuti,
timings.
I
Alright.
first of all, we need to identify how many people are working are not available in India. So we can make some considerable time for that. So if you said that earlier, if 10 people are available minimum, so that I can open a lab, right? So if people who are working out of India, so if we have at least that list or at least that number, we can make some reasonable timings for them. So rest of the people can adjust by ourselves in some other times. I hope so.
Sure, as long as everybody agrees. So what I will do, you guys discuss in this group, stay in this group and discuss. I'm going to start with Sim, all right? So I
Sure.
don't expect the
Shruti,
discussion
it's
to go on.
almost
So
time. Sorry to,
yeah,
it's almost time like 9 o'clock. So if you start same like again,
I'll not take much time. Is that okay? If you guys can extend by 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, no issue.
no, why don't we like, no, why don't we start tomorrow? Like, I mean, it's very important tool, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to rush anything. Don't worry about it. So I've repeated even yesterday's today, right? So I'm not going to rush anything. I just wanted to make sure that we get enough time for practice on Splunk than theory. So that's the
Yeah,
only reason
Shruti,
I
go ahead.
thought we'll start. But anyway, we can start afresh tomorrow, and also I'll show you about the installation tomorrow. So that's fine. I can leave the class now. If you guys want to talk among yourselves, come up with a time. You still have 7 more minutes. All right, please discuss here if you would want to. And just let me know the timings, please. Let me know the timings in IST. That's just what I want to say. That's it. Is that okay?
Yes.
So,
Keep it one start at 11 to 1, okay?
no, 1 second. You please discuss after I leave, not now. Please discuss after I leave. So, before I leave, guys, any doubts?
See, I
What?
think you have to decide because see, everyone will tell his timing. So I think you have to decide. Mentor have to decide that. Because people can
See,
give
the only
you
suggestion
can
I
do one
can
thing
give
like
is
we guys can give feedback in this chat. Everyone can give
I
feedback in
agree
chat.
with
But
Kedar.
you have to decide,
see,
right?
the
Because
thing is,
otherwise,
all of you have to adjust a bit. All right. If you are unable to make it on a weekday, weekends, there will be a slot given to you. Hoping you guys can make yourselves free for just one weekend, right? And practice. So that is what I would say. We just have to adjust a bit here and there. And having said that, I don't want to enforce any time upon you guys. That's the reason I said you guys have to decide, because I don't know your work timings, right? There are
Yeah.
50 odd people. I don't know each and everyone's work timing. So that is the best initiative of doing this what do you call the Google Forms. Looking by that, if we go, obviously, what is it? 7 to 9 is what was working out, right? But unfortunately, you guys don't accept. I mean, uh, said it is not okay. 9 to 11. So that's the reason I'm saying you guys decide. Please try to adjust here and there.
Okay.
So morning 7 to, what did we say? Morning 11 to 1 p.m. We are all okay, right? At least half of you are okay.
Yeah.
Morning 11 to 1 p.m.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that works
Yes,
with
Shruti.
most of the people.
Most of the people. So just another slot is what you have to pick it up, right? People who cannot, yeah, even 1 hour. That's the reason I said 8 to 10. So 8 to 10. So Pooja, if you say morning 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. doesn't work for you, then please pick up a time somewhere in the evening. All right, even in the evening, uh, that would work. So if it's okay, 8 to 10 in the night. Some of you said no. Is 8 to 10 okay? After 5. So 8 to 10 will fall under after 5. So is that okay? 8 to 10 p.m. 8 to 10 p.m.
Yes, that is best. I mean, it comes under 7 to 9 and 9 to 11. So it is like
Yep.
both
Yeah,
parties
that
are,
overlaps both the timings. That should work.
that should
Yeah.
be okay.
So the timings are Cool. So the timings are 11 to 1 p.m. IST, right? And 8 to 10 p.m. IST.
Should they
I
make it
hope all of
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST?
At
We
least
need to be very specific.
8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Stuti.
Okay, let's see that. Let's see. All right, first we'll figure out about this. We'll work on this couple of days. All right, then I can extend the time depending on how many of you want to extend. We'll extend the time. Okay, this is settled.
Okay.
Yeah, US folks, is this okay? 11 a.m. To 1 p.m. IST, 8 p.m. To 10 p.m. IST.
This is not okay. We are working on it. We'll get back to you. Because the first one, 11 a.m. is like midnight here. So it's going to be very impossible for us to stay that
How
late.
about 8 p.m. To 10 p.m. IST? Is that
It's like 8:30, it's like 9:30 here, and the majority of us are working.
I think 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. will be fine, or 10 to 12 also will be fine.
Yeah, please, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, guys in US, can you decide upon a time and tell me? Ruth, why don't you take it up proactively and check with others who are working in the time zone, in the same time zone, and tell me. Just get back to me. Whatever time you guys want in IST, just let me know. I will figure this out. Okay, so
Thank you.
let's not spend too much of time deciding upon this. So for now, let's keep this timing until Ruth comes back to us. Okay, so probably from, I'll give you the access probably from Friday or Thursday or Friday. Thursday is tomorrow. So yeah, either from tomorrow evening or Friday, we'll be getting access. All right. So you can practice over the weekend as well. Is that all right?
Stuti, is there any way you can pin the message so that it doesn't get lost in the conversation?
I'll post it in the
The
group.
timings which you have.
WhatsApp group probably.
Yeah.
Somebody post it in the WhatsApp group, please.
Okay.
Okay, and all right, so that's done and dusted. Next thing, any doubts so far? Yes, Rakesh, sorry.
No. Prasad has mentioned it is in group 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. IST. It's not 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. IST.
Okay, fine. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. All right. Anyway, so any doubts so far, guys? Whatever was told in today's session. Any doubts?
No doubt.
No doubts. Others? So I'll give you a very small activity. All right. It's a very small activity. Well, let me share my screen okay, I'm sharing my screen, right? Okay. So this is that activity. These are firewall logs. All right. What you guys have to do, forget about this. I'm going to remove this. Okay. Pick out the fields, whichever you feel is important, right? Whichever you feel is important. If you guys have time, this is not like a mandatory assignment. I understand most of you, all of you are working, right? So pick up this particular log. All right, check what are all the fields that you can extract, whichever field that you think is important, right? So pick up those fields, mention the name, as in this is the source IP. So mention source IP and the value next to it. You getting my point? So if you see something called as 443, and if you think this is the destination port, and if you think that is expired, mention dest port or destination port, whatever you're comfortable with, and mention the value. So pick up a field name and the value for all these four. Is that okay? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep, I will share the PPT and I'm sharing this as well in the chat. Just I hope it'll come in the right format. Just to copy paste in a document, all right? Just copy paste in a document, pick up the fields, whatever you want, put it in a proper, a table under each log. And if you want, you can post it in the group. It is not a mandatory assignment.
It's better to share a PPT, I think.
I will share the PPT. I will definitely share the PPT as well. I will share whatever documents I have. I'm going to share it with you guys as soon as the class is done. Okay, so clear, not clear?
It is clear.
Okay, so okay, we are good here then. People who have doubts can stay back. I'll be here. If you have any doubts, please do ask. Please don't hold yourself back. I can repeat it multiple times as long as you understand. I'm good. So feel free to leave. We're done for today's class. Have a good evening, night, morning, day. Right? Others who want to stay back, feel free to stay back and ask doubts if any.
Thank you, Stuti. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye then, all of you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Shruti,
Yes, I'm here.
I have a doubt. It's not a doubt. It's a question which was asked in an interview.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So there
Who's
is
talking,
an
by the way, Irshad or Rakesh?
yeah, there is an application out of DMZ. Okay, one database application. So
There's an application. Sorry, there's an application.
out of DMZ.
Okay.
Okay.
Hosted in DMZ. Okay. Yeah.
Hosted in DMZ. User is trying to access the application.
Mm-hmm.
The moment he started using the application, he received when he started using the URL.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the application is ransomware attack has been happened to the application. So he's getting that you need to pay so and so amount for this application. So the user is not sure whether it's real or whether it's a fake. So he questioned me that you are alone in the shift. How you are going to tackle this issue?
Okay. So as per my understanding, what is this application? Whatever the user is trying to access, right? Is it through a browser or
Yes,
how is
browser.
this person?
Through a
Through a
browser.
browser.
Yeah.
Okay. Through a browser, when that person is trying to access, there is this banner which tells that, there is, he has to pay a ransom to access that particular application.
Yes.
Or
yes, he has to pay ransom. So he the moment he started using that URL, he's
Okay.
not getting you to log in using user ID or password to log into this particular application. We will get right. He's not getting that one. He's getting that this application has been attacked,
compromised or something.
compromised.
The site
but
is compromised and you're supposed to. Okay.
yeah, but in general, the people who are providing support for that application, they didn't receive any notification that the site has been compromised.
Okay.
The user himself only got that the page is visible only to him that the site has been compromised.
Okay. In that case, you might have to check, right? You might have to check the user who is, who has got back to you with this complaint, right? Saying, our application, whatever he's trying to reach, which says is compromised, right? You need to ask him to check whether, there is no redirection happening at his end, right? Like for example, if it's a DNS poisoning, what happens in DNS poisoning? If I'm trying to reach YouTube, if I'm trying to reach YouTube, it gets redirected to some other website. It could be a malicious website, right? So that could be an issue with the user's end because your team is saying the people who manage that particular application server, they do not see any kind of infection from their end. They're able to access others are able to access the application well and good, right? So this would be an issue with the person who has reported this particular this particular
His device.
message,
His
whatever he's
device.
getting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his device
it could
has
be an
his.
infection on his system or his
Uh,
browser, or a DNS cache poisoning could have happened.
oh,
So
that's
if this person is any of your client, right, is any of your client, and you are obligated to check his machine, or you it falls under your scope, you have to take control of his system, or get IT folks in between, run couple of scans, all right, remotely try to check what is the issue with the machine. If at all they have no you have no business with that person, right, then you have to ask that person to check with their own IT team.
Okay. So, in case if he requests us, what are some mitigation steps that, or is there any way that we can identify that the user machine has been compromised or not?
Yeah, I mean mitigation, or I want to know whether you
Leave,
want
leave it about leave,
mitigation.
leave it about mitigation. How to identify whether the user machine has been compromised or not in such case?
If you want to know, there are multiple ways, right?
Okay.
So check so there are a couple of things which I tell. One is host level kind of analysis, what you can do. When I say host level, checking the AV logs, right, if at all there is any EDR installed on that particular system, or you can always install and check the various processes running on that particular machine, what are all the ports that is open, all right. And at the network level, always check if that particular machine is trying to contact any external domains which are blacklisted. All right, how will we get to know? You can do a simple netstats command, all right, to check what are all the different IPs it is talking to. Or definitely, if you are getting the logs, if that person system logs you're getting onto your organization, right, you can check the network logs, the host level logs, the AV logs, what are the different softwares that is installed on that particular machine, what is the CPU utilization, has it gone high, right?
Okay. Okay.
These are the various things that we can do to check whether the system was compromised.
Okay.
Hi, Shruti. Shruti, this is Said here.
Yes, I.
Yeah, actually, we are from non-IT background. Okay, so many people are using like certain things. Like I know, I mean, the technical words like the everything. We weren't able to catch up that things. So I think
Okay.
you can
So,
understand.
uh, got it. So I try to not use any
Yeah,
such
it's my doubt
fancy
too.
words. Okay. Tell me which is that word which you did not figure out when I
No,
explained.
so basically, I'll just inform you one thing. So you said one of the yesterday, I think. So there's a kernel, right? So many of people don't know what is kernel from this thing, right?
But I did explain
What is
what is a
kernel?
kernel in a very basic manner, right? It is nothing but your
Huh.
core OS, right? The core code which
So
is written. That is
no,
in a
what?
very
Yeah,
plain
yeah, I
form.
got it.
Huh.
So basically, core in the sense like I mean, it's I went to the Google, I searched kernel what it is. Like I saw the one diagram that is
Oh, I'm
like
sorry.
everything I have to. So it's like I mean, we have to start from the scratch, right? So like Shruti, don't mind because we are from a non-IT background. It's very difficult to understand the
Okay, no,
technical
I
words.
totally get that. I totally get that.
So please,
Sure.
like, I mean, this is like one of like, I mean, last year, half an hour ago, somebody told some log you showed that he sent that it's endpoint alerts, right? It was
Yes.
so
Semantic.
we didn't get that. Yeah, semantic. I mean, we didn't get how did he noted it's a endpoint and what's is an endpoint or so we are not getting that.
Syed, see, one thing I definitely understand whatever you guys are trying to say. That's the reason I keep asking whether you guys understood or not. If at all you stop me right there and tell me that no, I did not understand this, I will explain it then and there. So I keep asking every time whether you guys understood it or not, right? So stop me, don't hesitate to stop me. I understand there's a difficulty. I mean, because you are entirely from a different background. Don't think you're stopping the class. See, we all are here to learn, right? So I don't mind you guys
Yes.
stopping. But you guys have to let me know that you did not understand. Because it's a class of 50, and if 10 of you respond saying you've understood, I will definitely go ahead, right? So that's the
Yes.
reason
Yes.
I
I will.
asked you guys to raise your hand. I called up few people's name to make sure if they have understood it, right? Please stop me if you don't understand. So since you told about semantic, right? Just give me a second. If others are also there, I'll quickly tell you. I won't take much of time. To be frank.
That
So please
Sayed,
share.
that
Yes,
initiation
sure.
should come from your end, Sayed, so that we can.
No,
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 that's all right.
no, no.
That's all
That
right.
initiation it
Just
came
let me
from
know.
our end itself. Okay, we are not from IT background, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
no,
to learn from Google. No, no, I'm trying
no,
to
no.
learn from Google, but still we cannot.
Yeah, I understand, Sayed. The question is, if you didn't understand, right, the moment itself you ask it. Why? Because I will face a similar issue in my team also. When I ask anything for them to perform any task, I will tell them clearly, guys, if you have any challenges, let me know. We will discuss. Nobody will say a word. Okay, we will wind up the call and we'll start working. Then many people will call and ask me, what is this? Individually, we have to address. So
Yeah.
instead of that, if you raise that moment itself, okay, this is what I didn't understand. Can you explain to me clear? So that that moment only we can explain to you in detail to you to each and everybody. Even some people will feel to hesitate to ask. So for them also, it is a good opportunity for them to understand. So
Yeah, sure,
going
sure.
forward, from tomorrow onwards, raise immediately. Don't hesitate.
Yeah,
It's a
Syed, so
good habit.
actually even yesterday the same thing happened. So I got a message saying that, they did not understand what is an event ID. So I went back and started my class with that. So when I ask you guys that if you have understood, please do not hesitate. Because I keep hearing yes, yes, yes. I did not hear no at all. That's the only reason I went ahead. Otherwise, trust me, I wouldn't have. I would have spent more time to make you guys understand. So please make sure that I'm here to make you guys understand. Do not hesitate whatsoever. Even if it's the simplest of the simplest things, because I know I've started like you. I am from a non-CS background, right? I didn't even know what is a server to begin with, to be frank, right?
Excuse
So
me, ma'am.
there is,
Yes,
don't
yes,
hold
yes.
yourself back, please. Let me know if you do not understand anything.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please,
Yes,
just
sir.
a quick
Sure, sir.
question.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
we in the US we are trying to agree on the time.
Okay.
So
Hello?
we've agreed that after
Yeah, yes,
the
sir.
class we want to have 1 hour. Does that work for you?
Sorry, can you tell me the time again after?
Immediately after the class,
Okay, sure,
every
it
day
works for me.
we want to have 1 hour. Works for you, right?
Yeah, so it would be
Okay.
9 a.m. to 10 a.m. IST.
Yes, correct. So
Yeah,
we'll
should
get
be
back
fine.
with we want to have another 1 hour in the morning, but we are yet to agree on that. We'll get back to you on that. Okay.
Yeah, sure. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. works for me completely.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who did not understand one favor, can one of you please make a note of all these timings and just post it in the group, or just ping
I
separately to
think,
me, right?
okay, I think it's
Please
okay. We need to
separately
make.
ping me on WhatsApp so that I remember these timings, please.
Sure, sure, Sudhi. No,
And
actually,
meanwhile, I will explain this. So those of you who did not understand, right? So how did people come into a conclusion this is an endpoint? Is because, like I said, if you do not understand anything, even for Palo Alto, what did I say? Please Google this word, whichever you don't understand, right? So even for this, right, if you see the semantic SCP, right? So semantic is the vendor, all right, whose product, who have a antivirus product. Okay, so when people saw semantic SEP is semantic endpoint protection. Endpoint is what? The endpoint, the final system in the node, right? For example, my system over here, I can call it as an endpoint. right? So we install antiviruses, right? So I have not an antivirus. So what is it? It's protecting my endpoint, right? That is why it is called semantic endpoint. And looking at this, people said it is a antivirus log. And what happens in an antivirus? I'm sure you would know how an antivirus works. Sayed, Pooja,
Yes, yes, we know.
you know how antivirus works with
Yes,
couple
yes,
of
yes.
ways. One is with respect to the
Mm-hmm.
hash value. So whatever files it detects, all right, it checks if there is a hash value which it knows in its database, all right. If the hash value is malicious, all right, if it is if it has a bad reputation, it knows, okay, this is a a bad hash value, so it will trigger an alert saying this is the file. Okay, dropbox.exe looks like this is not a
Mm-hmm.
legitimate file, this is a malicious file. All right, this is the hash value of that file, and I am going to delete this file or quarantine. Quarantine means it is going to push it to some folder. It is an isolated folder. When I say isolated, means it will not be interacting with any other folders or processes in the system. Okay, so it will be isolated. That is quarantine. I don't know the spelling of quarantine, so I'm just mentioning it as Q. Okay, so this is what your AV does. If it matches that particular hash, it knows it is malicious, it is going to tell you that it is malicious. If at all, let's say it is unable to decide whether this particular file is malicious or not, it doesn't have any hash value for that file. So how does it do? Of late, these days, antivirus has evolved and there is some detection called as behavior based. Okay. What happens in behavior based is it tries to analyze how this particular file is behaving, whether it is trying to contact some blacklisted domain, whether it is trying to modify some files on the system, right? It tries to check all of these things. If at all it matches a particular criteria, looking at the behavior, we get to know, right, when these traffic people, traffic policemen, they are there, right? And if at all any passenger or any passerby acts a little weird, right, if they all probably they don't have a license or no, not wearing a helmet, they'll act a little weird, right? So looking at the behavior, these police guys also catch hold of these malicious actors. Very similar to that, depending on the behavior of the particular file, okay, your AV has the capability to understand and alert you, telling that, hey, though I did not find the hash value suspicious, there is some behavioral aspect of this particular file which looks malicious. So I'm going to delete this file, or I'm going to quarantine this file, or I'm just going to alert you guys telling that this could be malicious, and you guys have to investigate further. So it will tell, I'm going to leave it alone, but I'm going to trigger an alert to make sure you know that, okay, this is there and this is the behavior looks suspicious.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you, Shruti. Shruti, one thing, Shruti, we are using SIM tool or Splunk tool, everything we'll be using, right? So we are working as a SOC analyst, right?
Yes.
So what's the exact job role we are doing? Do we delete the, I mean, we delete the virus, or we analyze what's going on the file, and what do we report to the another team, or what it is?
So that in detail I'll tell you when we do the alert analysis, but for you to, for just to put it simply, what happens is, as analyst, definitely you will work on these alerts. If at all AV has already taken the action, if it is deleted, there's nothing much we can do. If at all it is quarantine, or if at all no action is taken, right? In some organizations, this is being sent to IT team, all right? And as SOC analyst, we'll do a little more of investigation. We'll just check whether there are any other alerts triggered for this particular host, whether we are seeing, what do you call, uh, very common infection on this particular system. Like, let's say this is some user. Are we seeing often, are we seeing any infections on this machine often? Or,
Okay.
what do you call, what is this particular file, whether this person has downloaded that file, or why did this person even is it been installed for some testing purpose, or for some reason did this person install. So all of these things we do. And finally we will loop in IT team. All right, we'll ask IT team, please go ahead, remove this particular file, check if there are any other unwanted malwares, unwanted softwares on that particular system. Please delete that. And if at all the infection is widespread, there are multiple detections on this particular system, right? We ask the IT to re-image that particular machine. Take a clean backup and re-image. So we do not go and delete it. All right, we usually ask the IT team to take remote of that machine and delete all the unwanted softwares.
So thank you, Shruti. Thank you for the clearing all my doubts.
That's okay. So others, I think Pooja also had the same doubt. Pooja.
All good, ma'am, now.
All good. So guys,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
feel free to stop me if you do not understand. Okay, if you guys say you have understood, even 10 of you, even at least even one of you say if you do not understand, I will definitely explain it again. But I should know that you guys are not understanding. Okay.
Sure, Shruti. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. Any other doubts from anyone else?
Shruti, you didn't share your contact number or anything, I think so.
It's there. It's there in the WhatsApp, right? So.
Is she there on the WhatsApp?
Yep. So today again I posted something called this reminder. So I shared the link also today morning. I shared the meeting link today morning. So that's me.
Okay. Okay, Shruti, got it.
Yeah, please reach out to me if you have any doubts after class as well.
Yeah, sure, Shruti. Shruti, what's your working time? I mean, your working hours, like for
1:30 to 10:30.
Right? 1:30. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Shruti. Thanks.
No problem. It's okay. The training, can we have the code? What code, Anwar? Sorry, I didn't get that.
The Splunk code. Hi, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't get that. What's Splunk code?
For the training, do you have for the SIM tools? Do we have any code so that we can install in our laptop and we can try?
No code as such. I will tell you probably tomorrow when we start installing tomorrow day after.
Okay.
Right?
This
There's
will
no
be
code as
installed
such.
in
You
our
just have to
only.
register in splunk.com and you will be
Okay.
able to download the what do you call software, Splunk software.
Okay. That's what I mean.
Yeah. You'll get it once you register to Splunk.
Actually, my name is Mohammed. I'm using my father's mail ID. That's why you are calling me as Anwar.
Okay. Should I call you Mohammed?
Yes. I'm
I'll call
Mohammed
you
Shawlamin.
All
I am
right,
Mohammed
sure.
Shawlamin. Yes.
Okay,
I am
sure.
from Qatar.
Okay, Mohammed. I'll call you Mohammed henceforth.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Anybody?
No, Shruti, let's wind up the class, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm just waiting if anybody else has doubts. They can ask. So, yeah, if we're all good, then we can wind up. Not a problem.
Sure. Take care, Shruti. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Problem. That's all right.